Hmm. Check, check, check one. Check. Okay. Hi, Denise. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the progress of our project and give you a visual so you can see what I'm talking about. Lots of things have changed since we last met, so I wanted to kind of show you what's going on. If you remember, students will be able to access the modules from Moodle, and so it'll just be in their Moodle page as just a single link, which will take them directly to what I'm calling the digital writing lab, but of course we can call it something else. It doesn't really matter. It's easy to change. Um, but one thing that I did discover was in order, and I guess this makes sense, in order to achieve these different badges and sort of keep track who has badges, we need to log in to WordPress, which means the students have to create a WordPress account. And it's not that big of a deal because it's as simple as registering your email address and coming up with a password. But um, they do need to register. And I've got it built in here so that they can do that within our site. But I'm also working with some Moodle folks on how to do like maybe a single sign in, which would be awesome. Meaning, if they're signed into Moodle, then they would be signed into WordPress, but they would still need to have some sort of account with WordPress. So the first thing you would do, this is the first page they see, and it kind of gives them a background and lists the different badges that they can earn. But the first thing they need to do is go down to this plus sign here and log in. And so I'm going to go ahead and log in with a sort of a test account. Um, Also down here at the bottom, as they begin to earn their badges, the different badges will show up here as a sort of collection, so they can see the progress that they've made over the course of the semester. Now, to begin working on the badges, the instructor would have to inform them as to which badge they need to complete, and I'm assuming that's going to vary from instructor to instructor. So that's just sort of something that they'll have to address in class. But I do have a sort of information page here because I'm sure they're going to have lots of questions from what are we doing to why am I doing it and how am I being graded and when is it due and all of this stuff. So we can work on this page together and try and combat some of those questions and field those questions instead of the instructors being bombarded with stuff. So the badges page. Okay, so I came up with just three generic types of badges: the MLA Master, the Librarian. So these we can customize. I mean, I customize these, but they're easily um, adaptable. We can change them if you want. But as we develop more and more modules and badges, they'll show up here. So let's just take a look at the Research Guru badge. And so this is the page that describes um, what the objectives are, how long it's going to take, and how to do it. Once they've achieved the badge, then there will be a banner that shows up here that says, congratulations, you've received this badge, and this will be in full color, and they'll have the badge there. So there's one step to start earning the badge, and I can click on that. And so what I did was it's almost sort of like a very condensed chapter in a textbook. This content I ripped off from the library materials that you sent me, and it can be changed very easily. But I needed to put something in here to sort of show you how it works. So I'm envisioning them reading first, going through a chapter, and we can include lots of different visuals and things. Um, but along the way, as they read, I was wanting to hopefully incorporate some of my research, which is on metacognitive prompting and meta comprehension. And so to do that, uh, I have these comprehension checks, and they're just simple questions that just ask them sort of, like, do you understand so far? And if not, then they can say, no, not really. And it just tells them they should, possibly review the content. And that's it. that's not really a quiz. It's just a sort of way to sort of bring them back into what we're doing. Um, so, they read and read and read, and then there's another comprehension check here about them being distracted. And they can say, no, I'm not distracted, I'm good. So, keep going. Okay, we're reading, and then I've got some embedded video. This is from the Kimball Library. And when they do get to the very end, here's another comprehension. I do have a 5-question quiz, and it's mainly just to make sure that they're getting the main ideas. This doesn't necessarily prevent them from getting the badge. In fact, it can't really be tied to it, so I can't make them get a certain score on it. But what we can do is we can ask them the main questions from what we just read, and they can sort of go through I thought maybe 5 questions would be good. Um, Go through the questions, and then it does tell them which ones they got correct and which ones were wrong. And it sort of, suggests if you got these wrong, um, well, I got 4 out of 5, but if they got some more wrong, then they can go back and revisit the material and reread it. So there's one final assignment, and this is the only thing that I'm kind of on the fence about, but um, in order for them to actually be assigned the badge, they need to submit something. And that's just the way that the badge system is set up. I don't necessarily like it, but that's what it is. So for them to be recognized as earning this badge, they have to submit it or submit something. And so what I did is I'm just calling it like a final assignment, and really I'm just making it um, like write a short reflection paper, and it's sort of, provide a summary of what we read and how is this going to connect to the course that you're in currently. And so then they can write that short paper and submit it here. Once they do submit it, then they'll be recognized as earning the badge and they'll be finished. The problem is that there's no auto grading. In other words, if they're simply submitting a file, it could be any file, then this is going to award them the badge. So there's no way for us to sort of regulate what it is that they're submitting, or if they're doing it correctly or doing it well. And I don't know about that. I mean, it's not really our job to grade every single person who's working on these, and it's not necessarily the instructor's job to do that either. But it's the only way that they can earn the badge is by submitting something. So I'm a little worried that they're going to figure this out and see, oh, I can submit any file and then that's it. So that's the downside to using this, which is if they want to get around it, they can. But the way that I see it is this is intended to be, a motivating exercise for them to do. It's part of their course requirements, and the content that they're learning should be applied to the course. So if they are cheating, and if they are just going around this assignment and just submitting something and being done, then they're going to be awarded the badge, but they're not going to be fluent in that content. So they are going to sort of suffer in that way. So I don't know. That's the only thing that I'm really sort of hesitant about. But that's sort of the nature of badges, which is the same argument sort of with MOOCs, which is like, look, they can cheat and they can get around it, but then they're not getting the content. So yeah, I don't know. I think that if we make the content specific enough that they need to be using it in the class, then they shouldn't be going around it. They should actually be using it and accessing it and referencing it, if that makes sense. So that's my only real hang up with this. And unfortunately, there's really, well, there is one way to fix that, and that is the administrator, which would be me, of this account, would have to approve every single submission in order to assign the badge, which means, we would be looking at hundreds of students' submissions I mean, all the time. So what would happen is we would actually become graders of all of the content, which I don't think we want, or I don't want it. So um, we might have to work on the sort of honor system on this and say, um, look, this is very pertinent to your class. You need to know this information. And if we have the instructors on board, they can say, do this module because you're going to be expected to know how to cite an MLA format. And I'm not going to necessarily teach it in class. And so you need to complete this module to ensure that you have those skills. Um, I don't know, something like that. So, anyways, that's what I have so far, and I can't say that it's been really easy this one, but it's getting there. I had to sort of create a new WordPress site and everything because the whole badge system doesn't work with the free WordPress account that I was showing you the other week. So I had to actually do an actual domain and an actual .com site and have WordPress host it and then build a WordPress site around it. So it's been very, very interesting, and I've still got a lot to learn about it, but I just wanted to get you up to speed with what I've got so far. So um, give me any and all feedback that you have. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say, and you don't feel like you can't tell me that something's a bad idea, because I'm here to work with you as much as you want. So um, yeah, just tell me anything and I can work on it and we can make this a really fantastic project. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say was the instructional designer at CCU, I forget her name, maybe Jean or Janine. She asked me to present at some technology fair or technology conference in October, and she asked me to sort of present and model this badge system. So my goal is to have several modules completed by October 21st, which is the day of the technology conference thing. So I'm not 100% on the details, but um, that's sort of what she asked me to do. So, I'd love to do it, but that means I've got to really get working on this. So, let me know what you think, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.